In this video, I'm going to give you a super quick introduction to the CSS grid specification. So I've written this page here. It's inside the body tag. There is a class of container, and inside of there are 8 of these. They all look the same. There is a div with a class of box. There is an image with our doggy image. Pretend they're all something slightly different for this. And then they have a paragraph tag with doggo. I've written very minimal CSS. I'm saying, hey, make the image 100% of the width of the box and make the box have a light grey background. This is what it looks like. So you can see it's grey there. It says doggo. That grey is actually behind this image as well. And there's 8 of those. And let's say that we want to display them in 2 rows of form. We want to put this content next to each other. Let's learn how to do that. The first thing we're going to do is create a new block for the parent element, which in this case is container. It could, if we didn't have the container div, it could be body. And we're going to give it a display of grid. And that's great. We've now implemented our grid. We need to give it some more settings though. The first thing we're going to do is say grid template columns, and we're going to, wow, look at all of those sizing units we can use. We're going to use a unit called FR, which is a fractional unit. So we can put in as many as we want in here. So for example, we could put in 1 FR, 1 FR. And this is saying I want it to be 2 columns and I want them to fractionally be the same as one another. Let's see how this looks. Let's refresh. We now have these boxes next to each other and they're both the same size. Now to show you how this could look, we could do 1 FR and then a 2 FR. And you'll see relationally this is the 1 FR and this is the 2 FR. It's twice as big as this one. Or perhaps we want to do a 3 column where we say 1, 2, and then 1 again. And there we are. So 1, 2, and 1 again. Now in the case here, we said we wanted 2 rows of 4. So we can go 1 FR, 1 FR, 1 FR, and 1 FR. Now we have 4 next to each other. Let's learn about another couple of properties that we can use here. So we can say, there's one called grid column gap, and we can say, hey, in between the columns, I want there to be a 10 pixel gap, and there we go. And exactly the same, we can say grid row gap, and we can say 10 pixels as well. And there we go. Now we have all these boxes. They stay the same. They stay the same throughout, and they're relationally the same size as one another. Now, let's combine this with what we learned in the last lesson about media query. So let's create a media query, and let's say, hey, we're in a screen, and let's apply this to every screen until there is a max width, which is greater than 700 pixels. So this will go for every screen size up to 700. And let's change the container to the grid template, columns, and we'll change it to just be 1 FR, 1 FR. And if we refresh and we take it down, when it hits 700, it breaks down into 2 columns because now that the container has 1 FR and 1 FR. And again, we could screw around with this if we want. We could go 1 FR, 2 FR if we really wanted to. But a combination of these basic grid building blocks here and media queries means that we can actually build really flexible layouts inside of our page.